The stars bent and twisted as 10,000 warships tore through the fabric of space. The Valaran Imperial Armada emerged from hyperspace like a swarm of metal locusts, their massive hulls blocking out the distant light of foreign suns. At the center of this terrible fleet sat the flagship Eternal Dominion, a vessel so large that smaller ships could dock inside its hangars like toys in a box. Fleet Commander Torak stood on the bridge of the Eternal Dominion, his forearms clasped behind his back. His gray skin reflected the blue glow of holographic displays that surrounded him. He had conquered 37 worlds in his career. He had burned civilizations that refused to kneel. He had never known defeat. "Commander," said his second officer, a younger Valaran named Kress, "we have arrived at the target system. The planet designated Earth is the third from the local star." Torak walked forward and stared at the small blue dot on the main screen. It looked so fragile, so alone. One planet with one moon, orbiting an average yellow star in an unremarkable corner of the galaxy. "Tell me about them," Torak said. "These humans?" Kress pulled up the intelligence report. "They are a young species, Commander. They achieved spaceflight only a few hundred years ago. They have spread to their moon and to the red planet nearby, but they remain bound to their home system. They have never traveled beyond their own star. Weapons? Basic kinetic projectiles. Chemical explosives. Some nuclear capability, but nothing that could scratch our shields. They have no energy weapons. No hyperspace technology. No planetary defense grid that our scouts could detect." Torak made a sound that was almost a laugh. "Another primitive world. Another easy harvest. The Emperor will be pleased with the resources we bring back." The Valaran Empire had ruled this section of the galaxy for 12,000 years. They had crushed every species that stood against them. Their technology was so advanced that most races could not even understand how it worked. Their ships could cross the galaxy in days. Their weapons could crack planets in half. Their shields could stop almost anything, and they were always hungry for more. More worlds. More slaves. More resources. The Empire expanded like a fire that could never be satisfied. "Begin standard approach," Torak ordered. "Launch the scout wings. I want a full scan of their defenses before we commence the harvest." 300 smaller ships broke away from the main fleet. They sped toward Earth at incredible speed, their sensors reaching out like invisible fingers to touch every satellite, every station, every ship in the human system dot far below. On the surface of Earth, Defense Director Yuna stood in the Global Command Center. She was a small woman with short black hair and calm eyes. She had held this position for 15 years, and in all that time, she had never pressed the button that sat under a glass case on her desk. Today might be different. "Director," said Admiral Tay from across the room. He was tall and broad, with gray streaks in his hair. "The alien fleet has arrived. 10,000 ships, just as the deep space sensors predicted. They are launching scouts." Yuna nodded slowly. "Let them look. Let them scan everything they want to scan. Are you certain? They will see our orbital stations, our lunar bases, our ships." "Yes," Yuna said. "They will see exactly what we want them to see." Admiral Tay had worked with Yuna for 10 years. He trusted her completely. But even he felt a small seed of doubt in his stomach. 10,000 warships. The largest alien fleet ever recorded. And Earth had only 500 vessels in active service. "The Council is asking for updates," Tay said. "The people are scared. There are riots in some cities. They want to know if we can win." Yuna turned to face him. Her expression did not change. "Tell the Council that everything is under control. Tell them to keep the people calm. And tell them that the Valaran Empire has made a terrible mistake. In orbit above Earth, the The scout ships completed their scans. They found a species exactly as primitive as expected. Small ships with simple weapons. Space stations that could be destroyed with a single shot. A moon base with maybe 10,000 people. A few outposts on Mars. Nothing dangerous. Nothing special. Just another world waiting to be conquered. The scouts returned to the main fleet with their data. Kress reviewed the information and smiled, showing rows of sharp teeth. Commander Torak, the humans have no chance. Their entire defensive fleet could not stop even one of our battle cruisers. I recommend we proceed immediately. Torak was pleased, but not surprised. He had seen this pattern many times before. Young species always thought they were special. They always thought they could fight back. They were always wrong. Send the standard message, Torak ordered. Give them one chance to surrender. If they refuse, we begin the bombardment. A transmission was broadcast toward Earth. It was translated into every human language automatically. A simple trick for Valoran technology. Attention, people of Earth. This is Fleet Commander Torak of the Valoran Imperial Armada. Your planet has been selected for harvest. You will surrender all resources and submit to Imperial rule. All resistance will be punished with death. You have 1 hour to respond. Choose wisely. The message echoed across every screen, every radio, every device on the planet. 8 billion humans heard the voice of their would-be conqueror. In the global command center. Yuna listened to the message without expression. When it ended, she looked at Admiral Tay. Prepare the response, she said, and activate Protocol Horizon. Tay's eyes widened slightly. Protocol Horizon? Are you certain, Director? I am certain. Yuna walked to the glass case on her desk. She opened it and placed her hand on the button inside. The Valoran Empire has ruled this galaxy for 12,000 years. They have never lost a battle. They have never met a species that could challenge them. She pressed the button. Today, they meet humanity, deep beneath the surface of Earth. Machines that had slept for 200 years began to wake up. On the far side of the moon, hidden stations powered up their ancient systems. In the asteroid belt, in the frozen moons of Jupiter, in places that no scanner had ever found, weapon systems came online. The galaxy thought humanity was young. The galaxy thought humanity was weak. The galaxy thought humanity had only reached the stars a few centuries ago. The galaxy was wrong. Humanity had found something in the ice of Antarctica 300 years ago. Something old. Something powerful. Something that had changed everything. And for 3 centuries, they had prepared for this day. The hour began to count down. Fleet Commander Torak waited, confident that the humans would surrender. They always did. Every species faced with the might of the Valoran Armada eventually fell to their knees. He could not have known that on this day, in this small corner of the galaxy. Everything was about to change. The humans were not going to surrender. The humans were not going to run. The humans were going to show the universe what they really were. 45 minutes remained on the clock when Earth sent its response. Fleet. Commander Torak stood on the bridge of the Eternal Dominion, watching the countdown with growing impatience. He had expected the humans to surrender immediately. Most species did. The sight of 10,000 warships was usually enough to break any resistance. Commander, Kress said, we are receiving a transmission from the planet. Display it. The main screen flickered, and a human female appeared. She had short black hair and calm eyes that seemed to look directly at Torak despite the vast distance between them. This is Defense Director Yuna of Earth, the woman said. Her voice was steady. There was no fear in it. We have received your message. We decline your offer. Torak leaned forward. This was unexpected. Decline? You understand what will happen if you refuse. We understand perfectly. Una replied. Your empire has conquered thousands of worlds. You have burned civilizations that would not submit. You believe that strength means the ability to destroy. It does, Torek said. Then you have never met a species that is stronger. Una's eyes seemed to grow harder. This is your warning, Fleet Commander. Leave our system now. Return to your empire. Tell them that Earth is not to be touched. If you do this, you will live. If you do not, your fleet will be destroyed. The bridge of the Eternal Dominion went silent. Then Cress began to laugh. Other officers joined him. The sound of Valoran amusement filled the command center. Tarek did not laugh. He was studying the human female on the screen. She showed no sign of bluffing, no sign of desperation. She spoke as if she were stating a simple fact. You have 500 ships, Tarek said. We have 10,000. Your weapons cannot pierce our shields. Your technology is centuries behind ours. What makes you think you can threaten us? I do not think, Una said. I know. This is your only warning. Leave now. The transmission ended. Cress was still chuckling. The humans are insane, Commander. They actually believe they can fight us. Should we wait for the hour to end, or shall we begin the attack now? Torak thought for a long moment. Something about the human female bothered him. Her confidence was too real. Her calm was too deep. He had seen many species try to bluff their way out of conquest. They always showed some sign of fear, some hint of desperation. This one showed nothing. Hold position, Tarek ordered. Increase sensor range to maximum. Scan everything in this system. I want to know if they are hiding something. Commander? Cress sounded confused. Our scouts already scanned the system. There is nothing here. Do it again. Deeper this time. Check every asteroid, every moon, every shadow. The Valoran sensors reached out across the solar system. They were the most advanced scanning technology in the known galaxy. They could detect a single life form on a planet from orbit. They could read the energy signatures of ships hidden behind moons. They could find almost anything, almost. Report, Tarek demanded after several minutes. Cress studied his display with a frown. Nothing, Commander. The same readings as before. 500 small ships near Earth. A few bases on the Moon and Mars. Some mining stations in the asteroid belt. Nothing that could threaten us. What about those mining stations? Could they be hiding weapons? Our scans show standard mining equipment. No weapon signatures. No unusual energy readings. Cress paused. Commander, with respect, I believe the human was simply bluffing. They are a young species trying to scare us into leaving. It will not work. Torak was not convinced, but he had no evidence to support his concerns. The sensors showed a primitive species with no hope of winning. Logic said to attack. Pride said to attack. The Emperor would demand to know why he had hesitated if he delayed further. Very well, Torak said. When the hour ends, begin the bombardment. Target their military installations first. Then their cities. We will show them the price of defiance. On Earth, in the Global Command Center, Una turned away from the communication screen. They did not leave, Admiral Tay said. I did not expect them to. But we had to give them the chance. Una walked to a large holographic display that showed the entire solar system. What is the status of Protocol Horizon? All systems are online, Tay reported. The array is fully powered. Targeting solutions are locked. We are ready. And the civilian population? Shelters are at 90% capacity. Most people are underground. The panic has lessened somewhat. People saw your message to the aliens. They believe in you, Director. Una did not respond to that. She did not want people to believe in her. She wanted them to be safe. The aliens are scanning us again, said a young officer named Jisoo from her station. Deeper scans this time. Very thorough. Let them scan, Yuna said. They will find nothing. Jisoo nodded, but she looked worried. Director, I have studied the Valoran Empire. Their technology is incredibly advanced. How are we hiding the array from them? Because the array is not technology in the way they understand it. Yuna allowed herself a small smile. 300 years ago, we found something in Antarctica. An object buried in ice for millions of years. When we studied it, we learned that there are forces in the universe that the Valoran have never discovered. Forces that cannot be detected by their sensors. Forces that make their weapons look like children's toys. Admiral Tay stepped closer. The truth is, Officer Jisoo, humanity did not build the array. We found it. And we spent 3 centuries learning how to use it. Found it? Found it from whom? We do not know, Yuna admitted. Whoever built it has been gone for a very long time. But they left their weapon behind. Perhaps they knew someone would need it one day. The hour continued to count down. 20 minutes remained in the Valoran fleet. Ships were preparing for battle. Weapons were charging. Crews were moving to their stations. 10,000 vessels of war made ready to bring destruction to a single blue world. Fleet. Commander Torak watched his fleet prepare with pride. This would be an easy victory. Perhaps too easy. He had hoped for more of a challenge. Commander, Cress said, I have been thinking about the human female. Her confidence troubles me as well. Oh? What if they have some kind of secret weapon? Something our sensors cannot detect. Torak considered this. Our sensors can detect anything. Every form of energy, every type of matter, every possible technology. If they had something dangerous, we would see it. But what if they have something we have never seen before? Something outside our understanding? Then we would still win, Torak said firmly. We have 10,000 ships. Even if they destroy 100 of us or 1,000, we would still crush them. Numbers alone guarantee our victory. This logic satisfied Cress, but Torak found that it did not satisfy himself. He looked at the small blue planet on his screen. So fragile. So alone. Why did he feel like he was missing something? 15 minutes remained. Commander, the humans are launching ships. Torak's attention snapped back to the display. How many? All of them. All 500 vessels are leaving orbit. They are moving toward us. Cress laughed again. They are attacking? With 500 ships against 10,000? This is not courage. This is suicide. The human fleet spread out in a wide formation. Small ships. Simple designs. Weapons that could barely scratch Valoran armor. Torak watched them come. 500 specks of light against the darkness of space. Brave. Foolish. Doomed. Let them approach, he ordered. When they are in range, destroy them all. Then we take their planet. The countdown continued. 10 minutes. 5 minutes. 1 minute. The hour ended. The human fleet stopped just outside weapons range. They did not fire. They did not advance further. They simply waited. What are they doing? Cress asked. Torak did not answer. He was watching the human ships, trying to understand. Then his communication officer spoke. Commander, we are receiving another transmission from Earth. Display it. Defense Director Yuna appeared on the screen again. Her expression had not changed. Her voice was still calm. Fleet Commander Torak, your hour has ended. You chose not to leave. This is unfortunate. What happens next is not our choice. You made this choice. Yuna looked directly at the screen, as if she could see into Torak's eyes. I am sorry for your crews. They are not responsible for your arrogance. They deserved better leaders. The transmission ended. Torak felt something he had not felt in many years. Something cold in his stomach. Something that might have been fear. "Commander?" Kress asked. "Your orders?" Torak opened his mouth to give the command to attack. He never got the chance. Across the solar system, in places that no scanner had ever found, the array woke up. And the galaxy was about to learn that humanity was not what it seemed. The first sign that something was wrong came from the sensor officer on the Eternal Dominion. "Commander Torak, I am detecting energy signatures across the system." Torak turned sharply. "Where? What kind of energy?" "Everywhere." The officer's voice cracked with confusion and fear. "The moon, the asteroid belt, the moons of Jupiter, places that were empty seconds ago. I am reading power levels that cannot be correct." Kress rushed to look at the displays. His gray skin went pale. "This is impossible. These readings suggest energy output greater than our entire fleet combined. Our sensors must be malfunctioning." "All sensors malfunctioning at the same time?" Torak pushed past him and stared at the holographic display. Red lights were appearing across the solar system. Dozens of them, then hundreds, each one representing a power source of impossible strength. "What are those things?" Torak whispered. No one had an answer. In the global command center on Earth, Yuna watched the same display. But she was not confused. She knew exactly what was happening. "The array is online," Admiral Tay reported. "All 2,000 nodes are active. Targeting solutions are locked. We are ready for your command, Director." Yuna took a deep breath. She had hoped this day would never come. She had hoped that humanity would never have to reveal what they had found in Antarctica. She had hoped that the universe would leave them alone, but hope was not enough. The Valoran Empire had come for Earth. They would take everything, kill everyone, turn humanity into slaves or corpses. She could not allow that. "Fire," Yuna said. Across the solar system, 2,000 weapons platforms activated simultaneously. They did not use lasers. They did not use missiles. They did not use any technology that the Valoran Empire could understand. They used something older, something that existed before the stars were born. Beams of pure white light shot through space. But they did not travel in straight lines. They bent. They curved. They twisted through dimensions that the Valoran sensors could not even see. They moved faster than light itself, and they hit everything at the same time on the Eternal Dominion. Torak saw the beams coming. He had 1 second to understand what was happening. 1 second to realize that the humans had been hiding something beyond his imagination. Shields. He screamed. The shields came online. The most powerful defensive technology in the known galaxy. Shields that could stop nuclear weapons. Shields that had never been broken. The white beam passed through the shields as if they were not there. It passed through the armor of the flagship. It passed through the internal structures. It passed through the crew. Every Valoran on the Eternal Dominion died in the same instant. Not from heat, not from impact. The beams simply erased them. Every cell in their bodies stopped existing in the same moment. Torak was gone before he could finish drawing his last breath. Across the fleet, the same thing happened to every ship. 10,000 warships. 2 million Valoran soldiers. All of them touched by the white light at the exact same moment. In exactly 0.3 seconds. The entire Imperial Armada ceased to exist. The ships remained. The metal hulls still floated in space. The lights still glowed on the bridges. The engines still hummed, but there was no one left alive to use them on Earth. Jisoo stared at her sensor display with wide eyes. "Director, the alien fleet." "I know," Yuna said softly. "They are all dead. Every single one of them. In less than 1 second. I know. Admiral Tay stood beside Yuna. He had seen this weapon tested on asteroids. He had watched it erase rock and metal without leaving any debris. But he had never seen it used on living beings before. 2 million aliens, he said quietly. Gone in an instant. They gave us no choice. Yuna's voice was heavy. They came to enslave us. To kill us. To take everything we have. I understand, Director. I am not criticizing your decision. I am just... Tay paused, searching for the right words. I am trying to understand what we have become. We have become survivors, Yuna said. That is what humanity has always been. We survive. No matter the cost. The human fleet that had been waiting in space slowly turned back toward Earth. Their mission had been simple. They were never meant to fight the Valoran. They were meant to witness, to record, to make sure there was proof of what had happened. Now they had that proof. In the command room, a young officer named Minho approached Yuna nervously. Director, our ships are reporting in. They are requesting permission to investigate the alien vessels. Granted. But carefully. We do not know what other technology they might have. And we need to understand what they know. About us? About everything. The Valoran Empire rules thousands of worlds. They will notice when their fleet does not return. We need to prepare for what comes next. Minho nodded and hurried back to his station. Across the solar system, the nodes of the array powered down. The white light faded. The weapons returned to their slumber, hidden once again from any scanner that might come looking. The thing in Antarctica had told them many things when they first discovered it. It had shared its knowledge freely, as if it had been waiting millions of years for someone to find it. It had explained how to build the array, how to use the forces that bent reality itself, how to erase anything that threatened them. But it had also given them a warning. The array was powerful, more powerful than any weapon in the galaxy. But every time it was used, something noticed. Something far away. Something that the ancient builders had feared more than any empire. Humanity had used the array once today. They hoped they would never have to use it again. On the bridge of one of the dead Valoran ships, human soldiers moved carefully through empty corridors. They found the aliens sitting in their chairs, lying on the floor, standing at their stations. Their eyes were open. Their mouths were frozen mid-word. They looked peaceful in a strange way. There had been no pain, no time to suffer. One moment they were alive, and the next they were simply not. Lieutenant Sora led the boarding team through the flagship. She was a veteran of many small conflicts on Earth, but she had never seen anything like this. This is wrong, one of her soldiers whispered. They just stopped. Focus on the mission, Sora said, though she understood his feelings. We need to find their databases, their records, everything about their empire. They found the command center still lit and active. Displays showed the last sensor readings before the array fired. Communication logs showed the final confused messages between ships. And they found something else. Lieutenant, called a soldier named Do-Yun. You need to see this. Sora walked to his position. He was standing before a large holographic display that showed a map of the galaxy. Thousands of lights marked Valoran territory. It stretched across a quarter of the known stars. The Empire is massive, Do-Yun said. Much larger than our intelligence suggested. How many worlds? Based on these records, over 12,000 occupied planets, billions of subjects, fleets stationed across every sector. Sora felt cold. This fleet was not their main force? Not even close. This was just one of dozens of armadas. The Empire has military resources beyond anything we imagined. Then more will come. Yes, when this fleet does not return, they will send another, a larger one, and then another. Sora looked at the map for a long moment. Then she activated her communication device. Director Yuna, this is Lieutenant Sora. We have accessed the Valoran databases. I am transmitting everything to command. But you should know something immediately. Go ahead, Lieutenant. The Empire is much larger than we thought. They will send more fleets. Many more. This was just the beginning. On Earth, Yuna received the transmission with a calm expression. She had expected this. The universe was not going to leave humanity alone just because they had destroyed one fleet. Understood, Lieutenant. Continue your investigation. We need to know everything about them. She ended the transmission and turned to Admiral Tay. Sound the general alert. Begin full military mobilization. And activate the deep space construction projects. All of them? All of them. The Valoran Empire will come for revenge. We need to be ready. Tay nodded and began issuing orders. Yuna walked to the window and looked up at the sky. Somewhere out there, an empire of 12,000 worlds would soon learn what had happened today. They would learn that their greatest armada had been erased in the blink of an eye, and they would come for Earth with everything they had. Humanity had won the first battle, but the war was just beginning. 3 days after the battle, the wreckage of the Valoran Armada still drifted in space near Earth. Human salvage teams worked around the clock, moving through the dead ships and collecting everything of value. Technology, weapons, information. Each piece helped humanity understand the empire they had just challenged. Engineer. Hannah led one of these teams. She was small and quiet, with clever hands that could take apart any machine. For 3 days she had lived aboard the Valoran flagship, studying systems that should have been centuries beyond human understanding. What she found surprised her. The technology is advanced, she reported to Director Yuna through a video link, but not as advanced as we feared. Their shields, their weapons, their engines, they are all based on principles we understand. We could build similar systems within a few years. Yuna raised an eyebrow. They have ruled the galaxy for 12,000 years. How can their technology be only a few years ahead of ours? Because they stopped improving. Hannah pulled up data on her screen. Their records show that the Valoran reached their current technology level about 9,000 years ago. Since then, they have not changed. They found what worked, and they stopped looking for anything better. They grew comfortable. Exactly. They conquered everything in their path. No one challenged them. No one forced them to improve. They became lazy. Hannah paused. Humanity, on the other hand, never stopped pushing forward. Even before we found the array, we were advancing faster than they had in millennia. This was important information. The Valoran Empire was vast, but it was also stagnant. They had numbers and resources, but not innovation. They had not faced a real challenge in thousands of years, not until now. Keep studying their systems, Yuna ordered. Find every weakness, every flaw, everything we can use against them. Yes, Director. The communication ended, and Yuna turned to the main display in the command center. Admiral Tay stood beside her, reviewing the latest reports. How long until the Empire responds? She asked. Based on their communication records, standard reports are sent to the Imperial capital every 30 days. This fleet was due to report in 27 days. When they receive no response, they will send scouts. Then they will send another fleet. How much time do we have? 6 months. Perhaps 8 at most. 6 months to prepare for the revenge of an empire that controlled 12,000 worlds. 6 months to build defenses against an enemy that could send millions of ships if they chose. Yuna knew they could not win through force alone. The array was powerful, but it had limits. It could fire once and then needed time to recharge. If the Valoran sent enough ships in waves, They could overwhelm Earth eventually. They needed another strategy. What about allies? Yuna asked. The Valoran records must contain information about other species. Species they conquered. Species that might want to fight back. Admiral Tay pulled up a file. There are thousands of conquered species. Most have been enslaved for so long that they have forgotten how to resist. But there are a few that the Valarans still consider threats. Show me. The display changed to show a list of names. Species that had fought against the Empire. Species that had been defeated but never truly broken. Species that might rise again if given the chance. The Karathi, Tay read. A warrior race from the Outer Rim. They fought the Valoran for 200 years before finally surrendering. Their population was reduced by 90%, but survivors remain. Who else? The Meln, scientists and engineers. Their technology once rivaled the Valoran. They were conquered 5,000 years ago, but they have been secretly working against the Empire ever since. And the Veth, shapeshifters who can take any form. The Valoran have tried to exterminate them for millennia. They always survive. Yuna studied the information. 3 potential allies. 3 species who might be willing to fight if they knew there was hope. We need to contact them, she said. Let them know what happened here. Let them know that the Valoran can be beaten. That is extremely risky, Director. The Valoran monitor all communications in their territory. If they discover we are trying to build an alliance, they will accelerate their response. They will come for us anyway. The question is whether we face them alone or with friends. Tay considered this. How do you propose we reach these species? We have no ships capable of traveling to their territories. Yuna smiled slightly. Actually, we do. We have 10,000 Valoran ships just sitting in space. Many of them still have functioning engines and hyperspace drives. The realization hit Tay immediately. You want to use their own ships against them. I want to use everything against them. Their ships, their technology, their enemies. We will take every advantage we can find. Orders were issued. Over the next few weeks, human engineers learned to operate Valoran vessels. It was not easy. The controls were designed for beings with 4 arms and different senses. But humans were adaptable. They always had been. Teams were selected for the missions. 3 ships would travel to 3 different regions of the galaxy. They would find the Karathi, the Meln, and the Veth. They would share what humanity had learned. They would offer an alliance. Lieutenant Sora was chosen to lead the mission to find the Karathi. She stood in the command center on the day her team departed, receiving final instructions from Director Yuna. The Karathi are warriors, Yuna said. They respect strength and honor. Show them what we did to the Valoran fleet. Show them that the Empire can be defeated. That will earn their attention. And if they do not want to join us, then we wish them well and return home. We will not force anyone to fight. But I believe they will want to. They have been waiting for an opportunity like this for 200 years. Sora nodded. I understand, Director. We will not fail. I know you will not. Good luck, Lieutenant. The 3 ships launched simultaneously. They engaged their stolen hyperspace drives and vanished into the stars, carrying humanity's message to the far corners of the galaxy. On Earth, the people watched them go. 3 points of light disappearing into the darkness. 3 small hopes against a universe of threats. In the days that followed, life on Earth changed dramatically. Military production increased tenfold. Every factory was converted to build weapons and ships. Every scientist focused on understanding and improving Valoran technology. The array was reinforced with new nodes. Hidden defenses were placed throughout the solar system. Emergency shelters were expanded to protect every citizen. And the people trained. Millions volunteered for military service. Billions learned emergency procedures. Children practiced evacuation drills. Everyone understood that the future of humanity depended on their preparation. Director Yuna worked 20 hours every day. She reviewed reports, made decisions, and guided the transformation of human society. She rarely slept. She rarely ate. She pushed herself harder than anyone else. Admiral Tay worried about her. Director, you need rest. You will collapse if you continue like this. I will rest when we are safe. That might be never. Yuna looked up from her work. Her eyes were tired, but her spirit was not. Then I will rest when I am dead. Until then, there is too much to do. Tay sighed. He had known her for 10 years. He had never won an argument with her. At least eat something. The cooks made your favorite soup. Fine, bring me the soup. I will eat while I work. It was a small victory, but Tay took it. Weeks passed. The 3 mission ships traveled deeper into Valoran space, hiding from patrols and jumping from system to system. Progress was slow but steady. And then, on the 42nd day after the battle, something changed. Every sensor in the solar system detected the same thing at the same time. A hyperspace disruption. Something massive was approaching Earth. Alarms sounded across the planet. In the command center, Yuna rushed to the main display. Report. What is coming? Officer Jisoo checked her readings 3 times before answering. Her voice shook slightly. It is a single ship, Director. Just one. But it is enormous. Larger than any vessel in the Imperial Armada. Larger than anything in their records. Valoran reinforcements? I do not think so. The energy signature is different. This is something else. The ship emerged from hyperspace and stopped at the edge of the solar system. It made no aggressive moves. It simply waited. Then it sent a message. People of Earth, we have observed your conflict with the Valoran Empire. We have observed your weapon. We wish to discuss what happens next. Yuna stared at the screen. This was not the Valoran. This was something new. Something unknown. Respond to them, she ordered. Find out who they are and what they want. The next chapter of humanity's story was about to begin. The massive ship hung at the edge of the solar system like a silver moon. Its surface was smooth and beautiful, covered in patterns that seemed to shift and flow like living metal. Nothing in Valoran records described anything like it. Director Yuna prepared to respond to the mysterious transmission. The entire command center watched her, waiting. This is Defense Director Yuna of Earth, she said into the communication system. We acknowledge your message. Please identify yourself and state your intentions. The response came after a brief pause. The voice was calm and ancient, carrying the weight of countless years. We are the architects. We built the device you found in your frozen lands. We have been watching your species for a very long time. Yuna's heart stopped for a moment. The architects. The builders of the array. The ancient civilization that had disappeared millions of years ago. You built the weapon, Yuna said carefully. Why? And why did you leave it for us to find? Those are long stories. But the short answer is simple. We left it because we knew someone like you would need it. The Valoran Empire is not the first threat to emerge in this galaxy. It will not be the last. Young species need protection until they can protect themselves. Admiral Tay leaned close to Yuna. Can we trust them? We do not have much choice, she whispered back. Then, louder, why have you come now? Why reveal yourselves? Because you use the array. Every time it fires, we receive a signal. We came to see who had found our gift after so many ages. And now that you have seen us? There was a long pause. When the architects spoke again, their voice carried something that might have been respect. You surprised us. Your species is young. You have only existed for a heartbeat compared to the age of the universe. Yet, you faced the Imperial Armada without fear. You gave them a warning when you could have struck without notice. You showed mercy even though they showed you none. We tried to avoid killing them, Yuna admitted. They gave us no choice. We know. We watched everything. And that is why we have decided to help you. Murmurs spread through the command center. The architects were offering assistance. But what did that mean? Help us how? Yuna asked. The Valaran Empire will send more fleets. Many more. The array alone will not be enough to stop them forever. You need allies. You need technology. You need time to grow stronger. We've already sent missions to find allies among the conquered species. We know. Those missions will succeed. The Karavi, the Meln, and the Veth will join you. But you need more than that. You need the galaxy to know what happened here. You need them to know that the Valaran can be defeated. Yuna understood immediately. You want us to broadcast a message. Yes, tell the universe what you did. Show them that one small planet stood against the greatest military power in the galaxy and won. Let every conquered species see that resistance is possible. The Valaran will intercept such a message. They will know exactly where we are and what we can do. They already know. Their scouts have already detected the wreckage of their fleet. They are already planning their revenge. The question is not whether they come for you. The question is whether you face them alone or with the support of thousands of worlds who want to be free. The architects made a compelling argument. Fear was the foundation of the Valaran Empire. Fear kept the conquered species obedient. Fear prevented rebellion, but hope was stronger than fear. If the galaxy saw that the Valaran could be beaten, that hope might spread like fire. What about you? Yuna asked. Will the architects fight alongside us? No. We left this galaxy long ago. We returned only to see who had found our gift. Our time of involvement in these matters has passed. Then why help at all? Because we remember what it was like to be young, to face impossible odds, to stand against darkness with nothing but courage and determination. We want to give you a chance. What you do with that chance is up to you. The architects transmitted a file. It contained coordinates for hidden caches across the galaxy, places where they had left technology and weapons millions of years ago. It contained star maps showing the weakest points of the Valaran Empire. It contained information that would have taken humanity centuries to gather on their own. This is our gift, the architect said. Use it wisely. Their ship began to move, turning away from the solar system. Wait, Yuna called out. Why us? Why did you choose Earth? There must have been thousands of species you could have helped. The pause before the answer was the longest yet. Because we saw something special in your kind. Every species fights for survival. That is instinct. But humans fight for more than that. You fight for each other. You fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. You feel pain for strangers on the other side of your world. You sacrifice for people you have never met. That is not unique to humans. No, but it is rare and precious. The universe needs more species like you. That is why we gave you our weapon. Not to conquer, not to dominate, but to protect. We believe you will use it well. The silver ship accelerated and vanished into hyperspace, leaving humanity alone once again. In the command center, silence held for a long moment. Then Officer Jisoo spoke quietly. What do we do now, Director? Yuna turned to face her team. These people had stood with her through the most terrifying moment in human history. They had watched an empire threaten their world and helped to destroy it. They had earned the truth. Now we send a message, Yuna said. To everyone, every world, every species, every corner of the galaxy. She walked to the main communication console and began recording. This is Director Una of Earth. 47 days ago, the Valoran Imperial Armada entered our solar system. 10,000 warships. 2 million soldiers. They came to conquer us. To enslave us. To harvest our world for their empire. Her voice was calm but firm. Every word carried weight. We gave them a warning. We asked them to leave. They refused. They believed we were weak. They believed we were primitive. They believed we could not fight back. They were wrong. In 0.3 seconds, we destroyed their entire fleet. Every ship, every soldier, gone in the blink of an eye. I tell you this not to boast. I tell you this because you need to know the truth. The Valoran Empire is not invincible. They can be beaten. They can be stopped. Their reign of terror does not have to last forever. For too long, the conquered species of this galaxy have lived in fear. You have been told the resistance is impossible. You have been told that the Empire is too powerful to fight. You have been told to submit and obey and hope for mercy. I am telling you something different. I am telling you that hope exists. I am telling you that freedom is possible. I am telling you that you do not have to be afraid anymore. Earth stands against the Valoran Empire. We will not submit. We will not surrender. We will fight for our freedom and for yours. Join us. Rise up. Remember who you were before they conquered you. Remember your strength. Remember your courage. Remember that you are not slaves. You are people. You deserve to be free. The Empire will send more fleets. They will try to destroy us. But we will be ready. And we will not be alone. To the Valoran Empire, I have one final message. Una paused, looking directly at the recording device. We asked nicely. You chose not to listen. Now you will learn what humanity is capable of. We are coming for you. Not to conquer. Not to enslave. But to free every world you have stolen. To break every chain you have forged. You should have left when you had the chance. The transmission ended. It was broadcast across the galaxy on every frequency, bouncing from relay to relay, spreading like light itself. On 12,000 worlds, conquered species heard the message. They saw the recordings of the destroyed Armada. They saw proof that the Empire could be beaten. And something began to change. On Earth, Una stood at the window of the command center, looking up at the stars. Admiral Tay joined her. The Empire will respond, he said. This message will make them furious. Good. Angry enemies make mistakes. And our allies? The missions? Lieutenant Sora reported success with the Karathi. They are already gathering their remaining warriors. The Meln and the Veth will follow. Soon we will have an alliance. Tay nodded slowly. We have started a war that will span the galaxy. No, they started this war 12,000 years ago when they began conquering innocent worlds. We are just finishing it. She turned to face her old friend. For the first time in weeks, she allowed herself a small smile. The Valoran Empire ruled this galaxy through fear. But fear only works when people believe they have no choice. We gave them a choice. We showed them that resistance is possible. And now? Now we watch the Empire burn. Not from our weapons. From hope. From the fire we just lit in the hearts of every conquered species. The Valoran cannot fight everyone at once. Their own empire will tear itself apart. And humanity? Humanity will do what it has always done. We will survive. We will adapt. We will protect those who cannot protect themselves. And when this war is over, we will help build something better. A galaxy where strength means protection, not conquest. Where power is used to lift up, not push down. She looked back at the stars. They thought we were weak because we were kind. They thought mercy was a flaw. They never understood that compassion requires more courage than cruelty. that protecting others takes more strength than destroying them. Now they understand. Now the whole galaxy understands. Humanity is awake.